It was only one sentence. So why did it take your whole night? A short reply, a colder voice, a look that did not feel like yesterday. And suddenly your mind builds a tragedy from one ordinary moment. They dislike me. I lost their respect. Something is breaking. But pause. Learn this one discipline, and small moments stop stealing entire days from your life. What actually happened? Someone answered briefly. That is a fact. They must hate me. That is the story you added to the fact. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, wrote private notes to himself. Those notes became meditations. Not a performance, not a speech for admiration. A record of a man training his judgment under pressure most people would never survive. He did not write because anger never touched him. He wrote because it did. Fear touched him, fatigue touched him, disappointment touched him. That is why the words still work. Stoicism is not the art of feeling nothing. It is the discipline of not letting every feeling become your master. The event is one thing. The meaning you place on it is another. The plan changed. That is a fact. Everything is falling apart. That may be fear speaking before evidence arrives. You failed. That is a fact. I have no value. That may be pain trying to name your whole life. If you are responsible, face it. If you owe an apology, give it. If there is a lesson, take it. But do not call imagination responsibility. Do not confuse anxiety with wisdom. Do not make one ordinary moment carry the weight of your entire future. Separate what happened from what fear created. Most of what hurts you tonight may not be the event itself. It may be the story you keep placing on top of it. So begin here. What happened? What did you add? What belongs to you? What is still only a shadow? The person who can separate these becomes harder to disturb. Not cold, not careless, clear. And once you see clearly, the second fire has less to feed on. You say nothing outside, but inside, you keep adding wood. While washing dishes, while driving, while trying to sleep, the same moment returns, not as memory, as punishment you choose again. I should have said this. Why did they speak like that? I was not wrong. No sound leaves your mouth. Still, your inner life is burning in a fire no one else can see. This is quiet exhaustion. Private resentment makes sleep lighter, food thinner, and kindness harder. And the dangerous part is this. It can start to feel like justice, but it is not justice. It is captivity. What you need is not a sharper reply, not another argument inside your imagination, not another hour proving yourself to someone who is not even there. What you need is the discipline to stop feeding the second fire. The first fire was what happened. The second fire is what you keep doing with it. That is where most people lose themselves. That part belongs to your command. Discipline is not only waking early or working longer. It is deciding what does not get rehearsed inside your mind. You do not need an opinion on every discomfort. You do not need to keep every complaint warm. Give people some room, but be strict with the stories you let live inside you. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this useful? Is this needed now? Will this make me more clear, more just, more free? A careless tone does not deserve your peace. A passing opinion does not deserve your whole day. A moment of disrespect does not deserve the throne of your mind. What you repeat starts to shape your day. Repeat yesterday, and today becomes smaller. Repeat anger, and judgment grows dark. Repeat fear, and even silence feels dangerous. So choose again. Let the ember go cold. Do not polish what already made you tired. Do not preserve what deserves no home. Keep only what helps you see the fact clearly. Rest is not only sleep. Rest is refusing to carry what does not belong to this moment. When space returns, your breathing deepens. Food tastes like food again. Ordinary time widens. And the fire finally loses you. Once you stop feeding the fire, you must return to the life in front of you. Because peace is not only the absence of anger, peace is presence. We often make light things heavy and heavy things light. One small worry gets the night. The meal in front of us gets almost nothing. One careless sentence gets the best of us. The voice of our family gets half a listener. We revisit old failures, but miss the hour we still have. We rest without resting. We work while scattered. We listen while living somewhere else. This is how life is lost. Not always by disaster. Sometimes life simply becomes thinner. A little less present. A little less grateful. A little less awake. So do it like it is the last time. Not to become afraid. Not to make life dramatic. But to return to what is already here. If this were your last meal, would you rush through it without tasting? If this were your last conversation, would you arrive with only half of yourself? If this were your last work, would you touch it with what was left over? To live this way does not mean forcing intensity. It means arriving with more of yourself. It means refusing absence. Be here now. When you eat, taste. When you listen, listen. When you rest, rest. When you work, stay with one thing. When someone is with you, remember they are not permanent. Not to cling, not to fear, but to honor the moment while it is still yours. The Stoics remembered death not to darken the room. They remembered it to make the room visible. Because it ends, you do not need to treasure a small anger. Because it ends, you do not get to treat ordinary moments carelessly. Because it ends, you do not have forever to become the person you keep postponing. So do not add meaning where only facts exist. Do not feed the second fire. Stop carrying what was never gold. Be fully with what is before you. Meet life with the wonder of a child. Carry yourself with the discipline of an emperor. And tonight, leave one fire unfed. Freedom does not begin when life stops hurting you. It begins when you stop feeding what hurts you.